call. We keep this one quick and we keep this one simple. We've got some. This is a really important thing to understand if you want to make progress as quickly as possible through this program. A lot of people avoid this step or seem to miss this step, and it ends up making them feel lost or confused, or they actually run into a lot more resistance because of like skipping this step. But before we dive into that real quick, as far as announcements goes, I won't be doing a live student copy review this Thursday like I normally do because of travel, because of a few other things. I won't be able to make that happen for you guys this week. However, I will be able to record a in-depth breakdown of one of these classic copywriting pieces from one of the OGs of copywriting, Dan Kennedy, John Carlton, those kind of guys. So I've put links inside of the announcements channel for you guys to go look at the different options we have and to vote. I'm going to check in like 24 hours or whatever and decide which one is going to be the winning piece of the ad. And then I'll take some time, whether that's in the airport or somewhere, to sit down, record an in-depth breakthrough or breakdown of this copy so you can get some of those advanced insights. These are typically things I don't get to share when I do a normal copy review. So this will be kind of a way to switch over, and I'll be able to extract some of the genius tactics that these OG copywriters use, so you can take these tactics and use for you. So no copy review call. This is what we're going to do instead. So just go check the announcements channel, make your vote in there, and we'll get that content released for you guys later this week. Now let's talk about this step, right? This is probably the most crucial step when it comes to doing work and doing work effectively and achieving success in life. And that is, you have to set a goal and you have to set an objective for each little step or each thing that you're doing. Most people are lost because they have no goal, they have no direction, they have no task to set their mind to. The mind is like a lot of people have referred to as like a heat-seeking missile. You have to give it a target. Whatever target you give, it will sort of get to work and make that happen, right? People talk about subconscious mind and all that stuff. But really, this applies more to your conscious mind when you're doing work. If you're sitting down to write copy and you can't seem to write anything, you've done your research and you're sitting there, there's really only two reasons why you can't write at that point. One is you don't know what you're doing. And that's the biggest one. You haven't set an objective. You haven't decided, okay, I'm writing this email sequence. What is my objective for this email sequence? Okay, what's the objective for email 1? And an objective for email 2. You have to set a clear objective, a goal or an outcome you're trying to create. And then you can marshal resources. Then you can you can say, okay, if that's the objective, then I should use this framework. And I can use that thing for my research. And you can gather all the information you need that way. But if you don't have an objective, you won't be able to win, right? Like if you're just sitting there and you have a blank piece of paper and you have no goal, your brain won't produce any results because it doesn't have a goal to work towards. You have to set an objective. You have to decide that. That's step number 1, right? And you can break this down micro level, right? You can say, okay, here's my objective for the entire campaign. Here's my objective for this email, for this page, for this piece, for this ad, for each individual part. Okay, here's the subject line. This is an element of this email. What is my objective for the subject line? If you don't know what to do, usually it means that you've already done your research, you've already done you've dived into the brand, you understand what needs to happen or kind of the context, you have information and ammunition. If you don't know what to do at that point, if you can't seem to get something done, it's because you haven't set an objective, and you need to figure out what outcomes you want to achieve and then reverse plan what steps you need to do along the way. And then your brain can sit down and it can actually fill that. You've given it a question, it can find the answer. You've given it a requirement, it can put in the effort it can think and give you actual output, things you can put down on the paper. The other reason, and this is just kind of as an aside, because I said that there was two. The first reason is you don't have a clear objective. You've got to set that. That's the whole point of this call. As an aside, you should understand that another reason, if you have an objective and you still can't write and you've done your research, you have ammunition, it's usually because you have too harsh of a filter and you need to just let yourself get things on the paper, right? So just start writing, give yourself the permission to write less than effective copy just so you get the output going. And then you'll find that if you get the output going, you're able to, once the mind is rolling, it'll start spitting out good stuff. But for most of you guys, that's not a problem. For most of you guys, the problem is you haven't sat down and defined an objective. Think about this in life. There's so many people in life who live their entire life without setting an objective, and they just kind of go with the wind. And they never achieve much and they never do much. If you have to have an objective, you have to have a target for your mind to hit for it to start producing genius work, right? So as you guys sit down to work on your next piece of copy today, right, whether that's for practice in the boot camp or for a spec work for an outreach or for a client that you have, actually sit down and ask yourself, what is my objective? What am I looking to achieve right now with this piece of copy? What do I want to have happen? Once you have that clearly defined in your mind, it becomes much easier to come up with the content on the back end. So use that lesson, take this step. It's a key step to achieving success in copywriting and achieving success in life. Don't skip it. Definitely set an objective. My friends, it's been a quick call. Hope you guys are all well. Take this information, go out, use it, earn some money. Let's go out, let's get it. Talk to you guys tomorrow.